We now have a tropical storm Arai. This was upgraded by the Japan Meteorological Agency here on Monday evening in the Western Pacific. Will likely be called Odette as it enters the Philippine area of responsibility and does bring this messy weather all the way from northeastern Mindanao across southern Leyte into Bohol, also into Cebu, and eventually over towards Palawan. I'm meteorologist Robert Spettel. Let's break down the forecast here from the Japan Meteorological Agency, as well as Pagasa already warning on this too, as it passes over these areas and heads off towards the west. But first, let's talk about where it is right now, and it's still got plenty of convection flaring up in there. Circulation becoming more and more defined, so it does not surprise me one bit that JMA has upgraded this to a tropical storm. You have decent inflow still wrapping in towards the south, but look at the center of circulation becoming much more organized over the past 12 hours. This is what we expect though, and as it moves into the Philippine Sea, it's moving over an area where you do have rather warm sea surface temperatures, which is going to allow for this convection to continue to burst up. The shear, with the shear line just off towards the north, it's staying off towards the north. That's with the Amihan, or the northeast monsoon, and thus if this just remains removed from that shear, it's still going to continue to strengthen. And you can just see here, let's walk this through step by step as we go ahead into Tuesday, already up to 65 kilometers per hour. Then we scoot ahead. It's a tropical storm pushing off towards the west, becoming a typhoon prior to landfall here, with winds of 150 kilometers per hour sustained as it moves there into northeastern Mindanao around Surigao. Southern Leyte, you're going to have those winds wrapping around as well. This will be Thursday at 11 a.m. Typhoon conditions along the east coast, but it's not over there. This still is going to track further inland, and you can see as it passes over Bohol, Cebu, Negros, you're going to be looking at still typhoon conditions out there as well. So yeah, this storm is likely going to be, I personally think 150 kilometers per hour might be a little bit on the low side, to be quite honest with you, because the Philippine Sea has a tendency to surprise us. In that sense, I think everybody should be getting ready and getting prepared at this time. Make sure you listen to your local warnings and evacuations as well. I did talk to somebody from Tacloban actually just earlier on today. They're saying everybody's going out to the grocery stores, getting all those supplies ready, and I think Tacloban is probably one of those cities that they've been through it. Lessons learned. So hopefully, people's memories aren't too terribly short out there, and they do remember last time they got hit by a major storm. I don't think this is going to be nearly as bad as that, but we all learn from experiences, right? So I'll actually look at that. You have a high chance of likely tropical storm strength conditions for you. Cebu, kind of a moderate chance, but I do think it actually is going to continue to increase as the storm gets closer. People out in Legazpi, Metro Manila, you've been asking about this. It's going to stay well south of you. Even Davao City, you're also on Mindanao there, but you're going to be staying on the southern periphery of this storm. So you're not really going to be getting those tropical storm strength conditions. The mountains of central Mindanao are going to be keeping you on the safe side. Unfortunately, those mountains are also going to be breaking up these clouds and causing some fairly heavy rainfall out across these areas. By the way, JMA not the only agency warning on this storm. You also have Pagasa, Taiwan, and JTWC. That's the Joint Typhoon Warning Center out of Hawaii. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for, a week now we've been tracking this storm, and I've been saying the forecast is pretty concrete as far as where this is going to be going. Every agency, this is about as confident as you can get on a forecast track. Let's go back actually and just take a look at that one more time. This is about as confident as you're going to get on a forecast track, with all four agencies saying yes. Surigao, northeastern Mindanao, will get the right front quadrant of this storm system, and this is why you need to be getting prepped right now. And also southern Leyte as well. I mean, my goodness, heading over there towards Bohol, you need to be getting prepped for this too, for typhoon strength conditions. I'm not saying super typhoon, but enough to sufficiently knock down some trees, power outages, cause a few landslides and some coastal storm surge that it could probably sneak up and surprise you here. Let's take a look at this as we go ahead through Wednesday and also into Thursday morning. There's your landfall. ECMWF model spot on as far as the direction is concerned. At this point, we're looking at about a Cat 1 to Cat 2 storm system. Look back towards the north, though, and I want to point this out real quick across the east coast of Samar. See that inflow wrapping it around? You might get surprised with the amount of rainfall you get as this comes on shore. Same over there towards places like Iloilo. You're probably going to be looking at some of that inflow too. So just watch out for that too. Yeah, you know, you may not be in the center of circulation, but you still have that moisture continuing to build off, even back towards the north across Sierra Madre Mountains in northeastern Luzon. You could see some of that inflow as well. All right, let's take a look at the winds though, and I really want to point out where the surge could be with this one. I still say a lot of the islands out here along the east coast, bays and inlets. We have some of those, some of the bigger towns actually. A few of these islands are facing the ocean. You want to really watch out for that potential of surge. I think it could surprise you. Just think back to BOFA or Pablo 2012. That kind of is the hallmark of what the surge can do across these areas. So if you remember back there, you're out on these islands. Yeah, just think about that. Think about where the water level was. And then prepare from there. I don't think it could get quite that high, but you know, you just set your benchmark and you should be safe. But yeah, be smart back there towards the north. You have the inflow coming in across the east coast of Samar. Late day, let's look ahead though. This passing just towards the north of Cagayan de Oro. I think you're actually going to get some heavy rainfall there, but yeah, you're probably not going to get the worst of the winds. But look at this as it pushes right over Bohol. Yeah, you might actually see the eye push right over your island there. Right front pushing into Cebu. Signal Force 2 or 3. I would not be surprised gets put, but we'll see how the intensity goes with this. And then watch as it goes past out into the Sulu Sea. Actually, could see some pretty decent intensification as it passes over Palawan. Actually could ramp back up in the intensity as it pushes out into the West Philippine Sea, heading out into Vietnam as well. So that's the extended forecast. I'll talk more about that in future updates. Right now, of course, we're just keeping a close eye on this one for our friends out here. Look at Legazpi. You know, the Mayan volcano actually probably going to see some pretty wicked rainfall around that area too. And you can see how this just kind of lines up mostly on the northern periphery along the east coast. I like the detail in this model. Cebu, even all the way back towards Mindoro. I mean, look at the eastern seaboards right there as well. Looking at some decent rainfall while the west coast stays on the relative dry side as this kicks off towards the north. But first, hey, before we get to the Philippines, still let's push over Yap and Palau. Tropical storm strength conditions likely there. Slight shift north in the track too, especially into central Visayas. It's only shifted a few kilometers, but it does make a big difference in the overall impacts. Most of southern Visayas, so still going to be watching this storm system as well. And then we take a look, you know your information from those official sources. Prepare to evacuate if needed. I can't stress that enough. I know we all want to stay back. We all want to watch our houses. But if you are in one of those flood-prone areas, if you are in a safe, sturdy building, yeah, you know, you should be all right. But just check and prepare. You know, make sure, be smart about it. That's the key thing. If you think you're in danger, head out to an evacuation shelter. Cebu, yeah, you got those showers that's going to be kicking on by for you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Obvious windy conditions as the storm system passes overhead. Also do want to quickly touch in on our good old waves here. Pretty large. Taking a look at 6 to 10 meters as this comes on shore, stretching all the way back towards the north. And watch this near the end of the run. You have a surge starting to work its way in from the north. That might actually disrupt it a bit before it gets to Vietnam. So we're going to keep an eye on that. See right there? That's a cold surge. It's going to be coming in on the wake of this storm system. So, you know, we obviously got showers down towards the south here on Tuesday, staying dry due to the Amihan, and across northern Luzon, temperatures may actually continue to fall after the storm system passes, and it drags in the cool air with that next cold surge. I think it's kind of interesting how these two very well could go hand in hand. As the time we go ahead in the 15th over towards the 16th here, we're going to be looking at that mercury continuing to plummet on the backside of the storm. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. If you got any questions or anything like that, please let me know. Can't thank you enough. I just had somebody donate on PayPal to this this whole system. I'm pointing at the weather system on the ground. I'm in like my spare bedroom in my office. I know these graphics are great. That's because I have a lot of help from Metro Weather, or this is a Weatherscape system. This is the same stuff they use on JMA, BBC, all the big TV stations out here, and They were nice enough that we have an agreement that kind of give me a little bit of a discount here, but I absolutely can't thank them enough, but I still have to pay for it regardless. So I have to thank everybody on Patreon who helps make that possible as well. And hopefully these videos do help some of you out here prepare and just knowledge to make smart choices ahead of these storms. That's the key thing. Early, smart choices so you can stay safe. And then with that said, stay safe out there.